What's up, everybody? Today we're talking Biggie and Tupac and a lot more on Black Hollywood Lives this week.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live this week.
I'm finally starting to put it together. But they don't want me to find out the answers.
You think the cops might have been involved in Biggie's murder?
Big, this is your eternity, baby. Forever.
Was Spacey ready to die?
Stay away from this case.
Who are you protecting?
Answer my question!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Black Hollywood Lives this week. I'm your host, Derrial, Christon. Joining me today is the lovely Courtney Stewart.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
And as you see from the trailer, we got two special guests in the house, Mr. Biggie and Mr. Tupac himself, Wavvy Jones and Marcc Rose in the house.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, y'all?
Welcome.
Thank you for joining us. I see you got the memo with all black.
I know.
Yeah, you know you gotta do it.
All black everything for
That's right.
everybody today.
That's right. Yo, that show is blowing up. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I know who are watching this show and loving what you guys are doing. So first off, congratulations, because you're killing it.
Thank you so much.
And the way that this show is like depicting the different sides of the story in this way, man, it's exciting, man.
Thank you, brother.
It's good
Very
TV.
exciting,
Thank you
for sure.
so much.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get into some hot topics, but we're going to have an interview with you guys a little bit later to talk more about the characters and the show and new projects you guys are working on.
Awesome.
All right, so we're gonna jump right on in, and we're gonna talk about mosting. Do y'all know what mosting is?
Well, I mean, okay, I had to read
you
up on this one
mosting?
because
Hosting in it or no?
What'd you say?
Does it have anything to do with hosting or no?
No, not really, but it has a whole lot to do with ghosting. Do y'all know what ghosting is?
Okay, get ghost.
Who at
You got ghost.
who at the table done ghosted somebody?
No, I never ghosted.
I did.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
I'm
I
guilty.
did.
I'm
I
guilty.
did.
I'm guilty. I'm so guilty.
Watch out. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Sometimes it's easier.
Sometimes it's easier. Okay, so for y'all out there listening to us, basically what's going down is there's a new trend in dating that's happening, and they are reporting about it all over the internets these days. And a journalist by the name of Tracy Moore has coined a phrase for this new thing that people are doing, and it's called mosting. And basically what mosting is basically ghosting, but where in this situation, before you ghost, you completely love bomb the person with praise, compliments, and faux perfect
that's
soulmate type stuff.
That's cold.
And it's like super over the top, and you're making them believe like, oh my God, like I can't believe I met you. This is like life. Like you're about to be
So
with me
you leading them
forever.
on.
Yeah.
You leading them on, but you leading them on hardcore. Like they believing in love and futures and all kind of stuff, and then you just like deuces, just gone.
So y'all ghosted before.
Just go.
I mean, I'm not saying I did a lot. I've ghosted though. I'm new to the single life in the last probably 6 months, so I had
So
an
you,
incident.
You've been
where
ghosting chicks already?
I had to go. It was a ghost. You know, I'm not saying. You said chicks.
Plural. So more than one?
No, I'm just
one.
It was just
You
yeah,
just
it was
ghosted
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
couple.
It was a necessary ghost.
You seem like you would also be a moster though, like, cause you would be like, oh girl, like, cause you're super nice, like you're super not like. No, cause you like seem like you would be like a nice guy on a date and like thinking it's like nice and making and then feeling bad if it's not somebody you're into, so you would like overcompensate.
I would do that. You're right.
And then you made her
I haven't
believe-
done that.
And
but,
you made her believe she was in love. And
What
then
about you? But you ghosted.
I ain't gonna lie.
I know she
I have
ghosted.
ghosted.
Probably several. I like see. I'm feeling you.
Like,
I'm feeling you, Mark.
this might be a little bit sexist, but I think that girls get a pass a little bit more with the ghosting just because, like, we can get
Why?
in
How
more
so?
difficult situations. Because men, like, sometimes when you say no, like, they get more aggressive and, like, more trying to talk
Females
to you.
do the same thing, though.
I mean, I guess.
Talk to
I know a
I
couple
guess.
females.
I guess.
Nobody gets a pass.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Real quick, everybody. Hello, Anthony in the booth. I just wanted to point out, Darryl, you said it was a necessary ghosting.
Oh.
It was a necessary
Look at him, he picked
ghosting.
up the little word.
Why are you trying to bring it
He
back to
picked
me,
up a
Anthony?
word.
That intrigued me the most.
That's an
Like,
adjective.
what
I'm
was
just saying
that
it was
made
this
it
particular
necessary?
situation was a necessary ghosting.
Why was it
because
necessary?
I just realized that they were a little bit crazier than what I thought they were. So I was
Right.
like,
See, that's cool.
instead of
So
going
you
through
get
the
some time.
process,
That's the
pass.
I just decided to go ahead and be like, you know what? I'm not, it's
okay if they seem like they crazy.
Yes.
Ghost
Yeah, they're
them.
crazy.
Yeah.
In this
You get the
situation,
pass.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
but y'all would say that the mosting is doing the most. Like you shouldn't most somebody
You shouldn't.
ever.
I mean,
Is it
unless
ever
it's
a
like his situation
situation?
where they're crazy.
People have reasons.
Then you can
People,
to most.
do they have good reasons to most?
It's very good reason.
What would be a good reason to most?
I'm not gonna explain that.
I want to know. See, Wavy, I want to know.
I mean, I'm gonna just bring it up because there's a dating and confidence coach who works primarily with men who said that mosting it is legit a thing, and it does seem to happen primarily from men, and it is often in a situation where it's easy to use flattery to get a woman in the bedroom. So they're using it to do it. It is shameful. It's shameful.
But I would say that women do it too, though. I mean, they're gonna
sure.
you're gonna compliment your man.
You compliment, but you're not like,
things.
I want to be with you forever, and I think you're the best. Like, to get in bed with him?
But some women compliment a guy just to get in bed.
Okay, let me say this. Isn't that what's the difference between that and a gold digger? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because they use, like, a gold digger could use certain words to try and get the dude and get the cash, get the man, and then they got an intention, and then all of a sudden they dip when they get what they want.
He said something there. He definitely said something.
I'm gonna say that you are just doing the most right now. And we're gonna move on.
We're gonna move on. Okay, all right.
3 against 1.
So Anthony, I had your answer.
Because I mean, you turn into conversations about other stuff that have.
I see you. Are you making a little uncomfortable? You're rubbing your core. What's going on?
You talking about other stuff.
Okay, all right.
You're changing up the conversation.
Right. All right.
But we're gonna continue on talking about dating a little differently because somebody else was in the news this week talking about relationships and love and whatnot. So basically, what went down is Neyo put out a post on his Instagram, and he said, quote, "We gotta make being faithful to one woman cool again, like 90s R&B songs. That kind of love needs to come back because this grown boy stuff is corny."
I agree.
I mean, you know, most people agree, right? Like that's well, most people. I don't know. You look like you don't really agree, Wavvy was on top of it. He was like, "That's good." Marcc was like,
Marcc was like, start staring over the space.
He was like,
he's like,
"I'm gonna just look that way."
He's like, hello?
I agree.
So most people do agree with the statement itself, but it seems like the, Twitterverse and the Instagrammers had some issues because it came from Neyo. And so the Twitter trolls sort of attacked his page hardcore, and they started coming for him with quotes like, "I know Neyo, of all people, is not preaching this good man season. Drop your album and go sit down." So the comments continued like that, and for those of y'all that don't know, it's because people was kind of looking at Neyo side-eye because Neyo had a relationship with a woman for a very long time by the name of Monyetta Shaw. They had 2 children together. Word on the street is that, he met this other chick who he's now married to and had 2 more babies with. But, like, he didn't really break up with Monyetta like the way that a grown man would break up with her. He just kind of told her over Instagram, or she found out over Instagram. So I don't know if she saw a picture of him with another woman or what. But then, on top of that, everybody was real upset for Monyetta because she had her tubes tied because they had agreed as a couple that they didn't want any more children. But then he stepped out and married this other chick and then had 2 more babies, and everybody looking at him like, bro, how you talking about anything? So that's really why people kind of came for him on the net. But then, Neyo got in his feelings. He was like really, really upset that like people won't let this go, and he like went online and he was like, all right, so I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to really break it down for you guys and let you know what the real deal is, because apparently everybody got to tell all their business, even though don't nobody care. So he said, I can't even like, this is what I'm gonna do right here. Right? So I'm gonna show y'all my phone. This is what Neyo did. He took to his Instagram and he posted all this to tell y'all why y'all need to stop talking about what he going through. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages worth of pictures of comments, and he said things like, I'll read a couple. He said, "I love how as soon as I post something about being a good man or the evolution of, somebody wants to bring up what they think they know about my past relationship. I never claimed to be a perfect man. That ain't real. But I've also never forced a woman to do anything ever in my life." He kept going, y'all. He said, "I need anybody who's still who they were 7 years ago to step forward and then have several seats." He said, "I'm a new man." He said, he a caterpillar, y'all. He said, if your logic is real, then babies don't grow up, caterpillars don't become butterflies, and nothing ever changes. He was real in his feelings, and he finally calmed down, and he was just like, y'all can't hold me to the same stuff that happened years ago. I'm a new person now. Peace out. And he finally put the phone down. He probably should have put the phone down like 6 screens ago, but yeah.
Wow.
So, man, we running back like 90s R&B.
But you see how he said you got to get back to it.
He did.
Yeah. People had to allow people the opportunity to grow up from things that they've gone through. Like, we have to get past that at some point. So
True.
I definitely agree.
That's fair.
And I respect his opinion on that because it is true. Like, we do need to get back to loving one woman instead of just...
Praise the Lord.
And Lord,
right, I agree.
We contradict ourselves a lot, but it happens.
I mean, I agree with both. I agree with you. My only thing is with Neyo is that at first, no. See, because I've already been put in a category in this show.
He said, I agree with Neyo, but...
No, what I was going to say is, I did, when he first made the statement, I was like many other people and thought, bruh, be quiet. Like, why are you criticizing? I think if he had started off the conversation saying, like, listen, I have made many mistakes in my life, but now I've realized as I become a grown man, I've learned from my mistakes, so I'm not trying to preach to y'all, but as a man, you should respect a woman.
Yeah.
If he came in that versus the way he said, I'm tired of guys being grown boys or...
he literally just put out the statement saying, like, we need to get back to loving one woman, like 90s R&B. So, like, it's one of those, like, he just posted a quote with no sort of...
He probably was listening to some R&B and
and just was in the mood, and he didn't put it in any kind of context because he was just feeling
But then he did say something about the grown, he didn't want to...
Well, yeah, that was later when he was upset because people got mad at him.
Right.
When he did his 7-page
But that's where he should have said, listen, what I meant was this.
Or he just should say, like, straight up, you know what, I was a piece of shit. And yeah, I made this decision with my girl at the time, but I grew past that, and I'm somebody else now, and I'm trying to be better, and I hope y'all do the same. Like, because the thing that gets on my nerves about that whole situation, even though I don't really care, but if I was going to care...
Your little ad, your little ad ends. You got to get your little ad plug, that little jab in there.
I'll just say this little piece, because he gets really upset when people are like, the whole thing about her tying the tubes and having the babies, because he went on to have other children with this other person, and he's very like, I didn't force anybody to do anything. It's just like, dude, just step up. Like, you knew y'all made a decision as a couple. Like, she didn't just say, like, yo, I'm going to just cut my tubes off because I don't want any more kids, period. Y'all decided together, let's do this. And then the relationship didn't work out. And if you would just like sort of own that instead of being like, she's a grown woman, she makes her own decisions. We all know you make decisions like that as a couple a lot of times. So, and I think people would be not on his butt about it as much.
Did he put it on Instagram for real?
Yeah, he puts all his junk. What, you talking about the quote?
Oh, yeah. No, not,
Wait, she pulling it up for you.
You mean the 7-page letter?
When he wrote, when he ended it with her.
Well, I looked, because I don't remember when it happened, because I didn't care at that time. But they were, the comment, the article on the post or whatever was saying that it was posted on Instagram, I guess, that she found out. So I don't know if it was a post of a picture with him and another chick, or if it was just like, we are over. Like, I have no idea. I would assume she just probably saw him with another girl and was like, oh, I guess it's over. And sure, they were having problems, and maybe his current wife had nothing to do with those problems, because sometimes that's the case. But the optics, you have to be real about what the optics look like. Right. Even if that's not what really happened.
That's
like,
true.
We live in an image universe. Obviously, he writes 7-page letters on Instagram.
Yeah. Just put in your music, bro. That's what I say. Put in your music. Put it in the next album.
And I agree, you guys should.
Or write it for somebody else.
Everybody should get back to loving one woman.
So you agree with him, though?
No, I mean, I agree. I don't purport to want to be with a man that wants to love multiple women, because I can't be one of the hoes. Like, I just can't. So I'm not trying to be on that kind of team. So
I feel you.
Everybody to each his own. So yeah.
That's true. All right. Well, we'll see what Neyo brings out. Good luck, Neyo. Somebody who probably was listening to his music, though, is Prince Harry, because you know, Mr. Harry, we know, is marrying Meghan Markle, who you went to school with as well.
I did.
Right? Oh, you went back in the day.
College with No. Oh, sorry. We got people in the studio, y'all, and I'm talking to them. I'm talking to them like they got a microphone. But what? We have to talk about that afterwards. But yeah, I went to
so you went to school
Northwestern. She went to Northwestern.
And as we know, they are engaged to be married. Yes. So the conversation of the prenup has recently come up, and Prince Harry has refused to get a prenup signed. He's estimated worth about $54 million.
Ooh, that's more than I thought.
She's worth about $4 to $5 million, they say, around that range. And he says he wants to follow in the footsteps of his brother, Prince William, who obviously married Kate Middleton and did not have a prenup as well. And they said that when they interviewed one of Prince Harry's closest friends, and he said that Prince Harry said that he's determined that the marriage will last. So he does not want a prenup.
That's so beautiful.
All I know is
That's so beautiful.
Megan must have some gold or something like her. She must be putting it down in the bedroom because 54
Is
million.
that what it has to be about?
54
it
million.
Can't just be about integrity and love and a belief in marriage.
Not when I built $54 million. I'm gonna love you.
Man and wife.
No, we're gonna get a prenup. 54 million. Yes, we are. If I'm worth $54 million,
really,
I am not afraid
100%.
to say we will be prenupping this all the way to
So we got
the
one
courthouse.
cosign.
100%.
What about you, Wavvy?
I agree wholeheartedly.
You would prenup it?
Yep.
Prenups?
I mean,
Really?
I'm still gonna love you the same way. I'm gonna love you more, actually. I might give you more. You sign the paper. I'm gonna love you more. See where this highlighted line is? Sign right there. I'm gonna love you even more. Boo.
So interesting. Like, none of y'all really think that the marriage come before the money.
If the marriage came before the money, that's a different
I'm
circumstance.
saying putting the marriage before the money. Because if you're getting married, right?
This isn't putting marriage or money before marriage.
It is because you're assuming
protected.
It's being protected.
you're protecting your money from your marriage.
I earned myself.
If we
I earned myself first.
But if you're getting married,
And this is
haven't you
family money,
decided that
too.
you are no longer wanting to be yourself?
So you take your money and I'm gonna take my money.
Exactly.
But you've decided you want to be together as one.
After this, let me keep. I'm gonna keep my 54 million right here with this piece of paper right here.
Right.
This is we're getting married. You sign this, and then here is our. We could do a joint bank account. We can figure out what amount of money I'm gonna put in each month. But I'm keeping this 54 million because. Your lifestyle is about to change as well.
What happens if in your 54 million life, right? You're doing so great, you get married, you worth 54, she's worth 2. Suddenly through, I don't know, maybe your stocks go down or something, and suddenly you're only worth 20 million, and then suddenly she's worth 150 million. So y'all decide to get a divorce, you're totally fine. Like you'll just take your 20 million and go about your business?
Yeah. Prince William, but his money's not going nowhere, so that's a bad.
Millions go places all the time.
That royalty money is not going nowhere.
Hey,
they got stuff in vaults there.
His daddy got on some struggle bus after he got rid of Diana.
I mean, he got a little bit of struggle bus, but he still didn't loot.
That money ain't just sitting there forever with no chance of it going somewhere. It could change.
I would even be willing to, after a certain amount of years of marriage, like some people do, you know.
So after 10 years, she done earned her 10 million.
You get to you financially kind of negotiate your.
What's the year mark though? Like how long you got to be together before you deserve?
Stick it out for about 20.
20 years.
Let
she
me make
deserves.
sure you in there for 20.
Well, 20. Like you think she at that point y'all even? Like is half and half? Or is it still like, nah, you can get like 20%. It's not half and half though. Okay.
I'm gonna give 7. This is why, because the 7-year itch in a relationship is pretty typical.
Okay.
So after 7 years, you kind of know where you're at a little bit. That's where a lot of people start to break up between that 5 and 7 years. So I would say I give it about 7.
7 for a payout or 7 that you believe?
No, payout. Oh wow, we got aggressive. You said you got aggressive.
I mean,
we doing payouts now? I thought we were just negotiating the contract.
What I'm saying is, you say after 7 years, like suddenly is that like okay, I can get you earn some equity. You got like 30% at this point.
Yeah, we can negotiate that.
Is there ever a point where it's equal? In terms of how long you've been together. Like if you've been together 50 years, are you still not equal in terms of if y'all decide to get a divorce? Because people do. Like they get the kids go away and then they get a divorce like after 35 years of marriage.
I feel like it should be what you bring to the table. Like what you built prior to meeting me, that's yours. Yeah. And what I built prior to meeting you is mine.
But
if we built 25 million together in that time, absolutely.
Partners.
But what if that 25 million got built based on things that you were doing separately and she was doing separately? So is it just the money that like suddenly your 54 million is now 60 million, but her 2 million is now 75 million. So do you split? You see why? That's why a prenup don't make no sense.
We both got millions, so we good.
Yeah, we good.
So as long as y'all okay.
What's your thoughts on it?
I'm just curious. Like,
would you not marry a guy if he was rich and not marry him because he didn't have?
I think everybody believes marriage is what they believe it is, and I actually believe that you are committing your life to somebody in my fullest expectation. And if I can't trust you with my money, then I should not be marrying you.
But
so
people change.
No, but see that's the
people
point.
Get mad and you do stuff. There's been people who get married who loved each other like no other, and then they're bitter. Their divorces become bitter,
love, that's
and
the
then
point.
that money is the biggest
that's the
factor.
Point. For me, marriage is not just about love. You're choosing to live together and to live a life together, and living a life together means money, means health. Because the same thing that if suddenly you become paralyzed and we can't have sex anymore, does that mean we should get a divorce?
If you feel like leaving. Be gone.
Well, I mean,
you're gonna be mad because I agree with Wavvy on that one. I actually agree. I agree with Wavvy on that. I mean, I think that's such conscious choice.
Exactly, it's everybody's choice, and all I'm saying is that's not what I believe marriage is.
From the bottom of my heart, straight up, if something happened to me and I was a paraplegic, heaven forbid, and I was married, I would actually want that person to be I wouldn't want them to only.
But you want them to step out on you and be, satisfied, or you want them to leave you?
I mean, I probably wouldn't want them to necessarily leave me, but I would maybe be able to understand, I guess.
No,
I mean, I don't know.
I'm not allowing them to do that.
You're not allowing them to leave you?
No, like you can't. You say leave a what?
Well, I'm asking, like, if you became a paraplegic, like it happened to Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
He fell off the horse. He was paraplegic, but physically he can't do anything for her anymore.
Yeah.
No,
should she divorce him?
She can leave totally.
You think she should just leave?
She gotta go. She gotta go.
See?
And see if she leaves, that she didn't deserve my millions anyway. So.
Well, we're not talking about money right now. We're talking about taking care of somebody, because things happen in life. Like, crappy things happen to people all the time. It's not just financial. So I'm just, that's why it's an interesting conversation to me.
You can't.
It's tough.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of have to disagree, because I think love is being able to transcend just the physicality or the money aspects of it all.
Okay.
I think I found a wife for you, Anthony, from the booth. Her name is Courtney Stewart, and she's sitting on this damn panel right now.
He said love transcends.
He said he got Neyo on us. He said love
Anthony in the booth said it transcends all
right.
things.
All right, Anthony Neyo in the booth. No, I mean, I don't know. It's tough. If we're going to talk about just what we're talking about, I still say I need a prenup. So good luck, Prince Harry. I hope it works out for you.
Wow.
All right.
It's going to be beautiful.
It's going to be beautiful. All right, we're going to move on to our last story today. This is something that has been in the news all week. I'm sure you guys have been hearing about this. The Austin bombing suspect that we all have been in fear of, because he was responsible for 6 bombs. His name is Marcc Anthony Condit. He was 5 of which he injured. 5 of which exploded. So the bombs exploded out of the 6. He killed 2 people and injured at least 5. They're saying.
Yeah.
The news was reporting it was this a terrorist act? Was this a racial crime? Because several of the people killed were African American.
Yeah.
And so he was caught on surveillance camera this week, and once the police kind of honed in on him, he blew himself up. So there's 2 kind of things that are running around, because some police officers are worried still about the fact that they think that there may be bombs still somewhere else that could be exploding at some other time. He did leave a 25-minute confession, but he did not really answer on what his reasonings were, or was this a terrorist act, or why he actually was doing this. So we're still kind of left clueless from Marcc, the bomber, 23 years old. And what we also found out is that the police chief...
The bomber was 23?
23 years old. And what we're also finding out is that the police chief in Austin is getting a lot of slack, because he called him, the bomber, challenged versus a terrorist. So people are really having a hard time with this, because they're saying he's a challenged man, but they were saying if he was a African American or Latino, he would be a terrorist, or he would be a vicious killer, or there would be different adjectives that were used for him versus what was used for him.
I'm not surprised.
He was also a white Christian.
Yeah, and
was homeschooled.
That's what they said?
Yeah, and their parents, his parents were electrical engineers.
Yeah. So
most of the media coverage is literally like, he's a troubled young man.
Yeah. Comes from a religious background.
Christian family.
Yeah.
He was a good family that, they can't figure out what happened. So
the unfortunate thing is the fact of when these things happen is that we don't get the answers, I mean, even though he did this 25-minute confession that he did it, he didn't say, this is why specifically I did it. So that's the unfortunate thing, because I feel like it doesn't give the families of the victims any kind of full peace with it. You know what I mean?
Closure.
Yeah.
So, but I'm glad that, unfortunately, I'm glad that he got caught and did what he did. Because now at least, I think there was like a young teenage black kid who got killed.
Yeah, there was like a 17-year-old boy that was killed. And he was sitting on their front steps.
Sitting on the front steps. Yeah, and I was thinking like how scary that is. I mean, you could just go pick up a package and just...
Thinking you had a delivery and explode.
Wow, exploding. Man. So...
That's...
you know, our condolences go to all the victims' families, and you know, but I'm glad that it ended in this way, and to an extent.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, we're going to talk about some more positive things. That ends our stories for the day. We're going to talk about Unsolved on USA with Marcc and Wavvy in the house. So, I mean, so many questions to talk about with you guys. Let's start off with, how did it feel to play these legendary hip hop stars that still to this day, you know, we don't have a resolution on a lot of things that happened with them? How did it feel to play them?
It felt crazy, honestly. It just felt surreal, you know, to step in shoes, you know, like Tupac Shakur or Christopher Wallace. It's like, because of what they stood for, you know, what they represented, and it's like, these are two people who meant so much to us, you know, for so many different reasons, the culture, the hip-hop community, you know. So it's crazy. It's a blessing.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Just being able to be an instrument in telling the story of what happened to them, more so than just like broadcasting like the whole West Coast, East Coast beef. Like, we actually get a chance to show the friendship between them two. We get the chance to show them behind the music that people don't really know about. They just know the whole East Coast, West Coast thing. So now we get a chance to show them in layers, you know, show a different side of them.
What did you sort of learn, or what surprised you when you were working either on the script or in your research to put together your roles? Did you that surprised you about each individual person that you were playing?
Biggie really, he was just like, to see the relationship that he had with his mother was really like triggering to me, because it was like, wow, I got the same relationship. But through the music, he didn't really speak of that kind relationship that he had with his mother. Like, so just to be able to see that and to see how he really felt about Tupac outside of what we know is like, okay, wow, this is deeper than rap. Like, he looked at him like this was his brother, and everything just really went downhill.
For me, it's the same thing. You know, Pac's relationship with his mom stems so deep. You know, he's so strong because of who she was, you know, Black Panther, and just his upbringing. And I just got a chance to really just see who he was and how strong he was at such a young age. And for me, I'm 25, and he died at 25, so it registers real close to me. You know, and to see just scenarios in his life, like Quad Studio, you know, he was shot, and then he went to the hospital right after that. The next day, checked himself out the hospital to go to court, you know, bandit. It's just so much, and it's a young cat, so I learned just everything, man. Just him, all of him in layers, like you said.
What was one of your favorite scenes for both of you to actually film, that you just, like, the one of the most memorable moments on set?
I think for sure it will be episode 1. The first episode, the pilot, where we got a chance to freestyle with each other. Pac and Big got a chance to freestyle with each other, and I think that was important. Such an important scene and a dope scene, because, again, you don't see that. You know, over the years, a lot of times they just pushed that East Coast, West Coast stuff. So to really see the brotherhood and the humanity between these two, it felt surreal, and the feedback has been amazing on it. So
you guys are killing it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
So I'm really enjoying the show, and I don't say that for a lot of shows. So
thank you.
We're lucky.
You know, no, you're just doing a great job. You can just have me guest appear on the show. I'll be the fan of Biggie and Tupac.
But what were y'all rap skills like before y'all took these parts?
Mine was trash. Mine was trash. I'm keeping it real.
I was already an artist before it, so just coming into it, it was like, this is Biggie, so it was a little bit more, it was more just a difference in the things that we represented, what we talked about. So
he being humble, he was fire even before.
I could, you know what? I could tell the way he's even saying. I'm like, no, he lying. I'm like, you got skills like humble. He killing it.
Oh my God.
Well, since you were trashing before, where you feel like you at now? Have you moved up on the scale a little bit?
A little bit. I mean, we eased our way a little on up there. We got up there.
I'm trying to get him on his record, but he's not budging. Like,
he won't do it.
I'm trying. He won't do it.
I'm getting tweets like, "Yo, oh my gosh, we need another album." I'm like, you tagged the wrong one, bro. I'm not. I'm just an actor, my G. I'm sorry. You know?
I love that. What's your favorite Biggie and Tupac tracks, both of you?
Ooh, you want to go first?
Yeah. Juicy for Biggie because he spoke about that dream of just wanting to chase your dream and being able to provide for your family and friends. And I would say Thug's Mansion for Pac because he spoke about
that's a good one.
You know what I'm saying, just not dressing up and being Hollywood, but really being who you are, and I mean, stuff like that.
For me, I would agree. I would say Juicy for Biggie. Excuse me. I'm from Brooklyn, so when I hear Juicy, it just does something. It's like you know what I'm saying? Like from the beginning when he talking about just getting some money to feed his daughter. You know, it's the whole vibe. Yeah, it's the energy. You know, for Pac, mine would be Keep Your Head Up. You know, for that record. You know what I'm saying? It for the whites, for the blacks, for the young, the old, the kid. It just didn't matter. That song spoke to everyone and spoke for everyone. So to this day,
I'm curious. What's your favorite?
It's actually those two.
Oh, for real?
Keep Your Head Up and Juicy.
Cheers.
Okay.
So what's yours?
Biggie Warning. Hands down. Warning is like every time I hear it, who the fuck me in the morning, crack the dawn and now yawning. Wipe the cold from my eyes. See who's this page me and what? It's my nigga Pop. No, let me stop. And then I Wonder If Heaven's Got a Ghetto by Tupac.
I like both of those too.
That's my jam. Now let me ask you guys this also. You know, we've obviously seen several different projects coming out talking about Tupac and Biggie. We obviously had the Tupac movie this year. And we had the Biggie movie several years back. Did you guys feel like some type of pressure to come in and play those characters again, you know, and feel like, you know, we want to really get it right, you know?
I think 1,000% because, you know, we can't blame nobody for that. It's been done so many times, and it's you know, people have seen so many movies and documentaries, but for us, it's so different because ours isn't like that. You know, ours is a series that just focuses on the murders. You know, the investigations, what went on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? But the pressure for sure was just there throughout filming because, again, who Pac and Big were. But having directors like our director, like Anthony Hemingway, who was just so phenomenal and just helping us, you know, ease that off and block everything out.
I couldn't agree more with him. Just it was more so because of who they were, not really because there was other things done on it. It was like what they meant to us meant something. That's why we just went out there and gave it out all to represent their legacy and to honor them in the best way possible.
What do you think, fans? I know you can't reveal too much, but what can fans kind of expect from the remainder of the series?
It's getting real right now.
It's getting real. I'm one episode behind, and it was real on that one. I was like, man,
it's getting real.
Like, man.
It gets real. What could we say? In the last few episodes that aired, people got a chance to see Big warn Pac. You know, he warned him a few times about the company he was keeping, and in the few episodes to come next week, you really get to see how it really falls down, like in the worst way possible.
Y'all gotta see this 4th episode before we can really talk about that 5th, how it just trickled down from that 4th is already foreshadowing what's about to happen in 5.
See, I'm excited now.
See, you're excited, but like it's always like watching you, like you know how it ends, like you know, and it's so hard to just sit and be like, dang, if they had just, or if he had just not done, like it's.
But can I ask y'all something?
Sure.
Well, from watching the episodes y'all have watched, have y'all learned new things, or are you seeing things that you guys haven't seen before?
Honestly, the funny thing is I was about to say is that you know, I really feel like it just gives such a different perspective, and I love the way they kind of cut it in half, where you're seeing a part of Biggie's story, you're seeing a part of Tupac's story, and all the layers that are coming around that, and that's what I think makes this, it sets this aside from all the other, no diss to any other projects, they all been great, but this just gives such a dynamic perspective on it that I think people really, like, I feel like I'm about to get a real answer by the time this series is over. That's what I feel like, and I haven't felt like that in other movies or productions of it before.
I just appreciate that it's the relationship is shown in way more layers than we've ever seen before. Because even as fans and whatnot, like we knew that there was some kind of relationship, but like we didn't know like the levels and like what really, because you only got the gossip version of it and that kind of thing. So it's just nice it's nice, but it's also that much more bittersweet, almost heartbreaking, because things could have been so different. And then just to hear you even say like the whole thing, because you forget he was 25.
Right. Yeah. Young.
Like that is so young, and they seemed so much older, obviously to me and us at the time because we were kids and looking at them, but they were children. Like they were not children, but they were young
guys. Yeah.
And it's just like, love it, but it's painful. Like it's difficult to digest.
After we got the script, just reading, because they died, you know, when we were kids. Like, I mean, 3-4 years old for me, but just getting the script and then reading it, I had to do so much research after that because I'm like, this could not have really happened. Like, no, it didn't. You know, this. And doing the research is like, wow, but it did. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just really, really deep. So I've never seen it written or from that side, from this standpoint before, too.
Where do you think that Biggie and Tupac would be today if they were still alive? Or what would they be doing, you think?
Dang, I think Pac would have his hands just a little bit about everything, honestly, from just like, damn, acting to some of politics for sure.
Tupac would have been a president.
Music. He might have been.
Wouldn't have been
the trip.
Right?
Yeah.
Big would have been at the top of the he would have been sitting next to Jay-Z on that type of right now. And Big branching out to do his own label at the time.
Yeah. And he was about to be a movie star because I think he was about to shoot a movie before he died.
Right? Yeah. All right, man. Well, I mean, we're glad you guys are here and doing your thing with the story. What are you working on? Any other projects outside of this, outside of the show?
Not right now.
That you can announce. I know sometimes you can't announce it.
Not right now.
I don't want to jinx anything.
Yeah.
But I am working on an album right now.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
A hip hop album, I would assume.
A hip hop album.
Okay. Yeah. Unless you go and bust some R&B out that we don't know about.
Where Neyo at?
You got the smooth voice. You messed around to be Drake singing his, his chords and rapping. You know what I'm saying? You heard it first on BHL. We better get a free album. All right, where can fans find you guys?
Follow me, social media, Marcc Rose, MarcCrose.
You can find me on all platforms at I am Wavvy Jones. That's IAM WAVYYJONEZ.
Courtney.
You can find me everywhere. Why are you laughing at me now?
I'm just laughing. You're just funny. You're just funny to me all the time.
I'm all over the whatever verse at Stewart Starlet.
You can find me at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And congratulations, brothers, because you're doing your thing.
You're doing a beautiful
I'm looking forward to seeing where your next layers of life go with your career, and come back to BHL anytime.
For sure.
And I'll be watching that episode 4, thinking about what you just said. So watch that.
Made me cry.
Check them out on USA, Untold, The Murder of Biggie and Tupac. Excellent show. If you are not hip to it, you got to watch these guys. Have a great weekend. Peace.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Derrial, Christon, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live. Scipio, Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.